Many parts of the U.S. are dealing with ice and snowstorms, including in the mid-Atlantic, on up through the Northeast, where parts of Virginia have more than a foot on the ground. The third storm of the week, is on the way, with even more snow in the forecast for millions nationwide. CBS News Colorado reporter Brian Sherrod is in Denver. So, Brian, what are you seeing where you are?
I can definitely tell you here in Denver, it's still showing some snowy conditions. The biggest thing is going to be just how covered the roads are right now. We're actually around the 16th Street Mall area. That's where people like to shop around here in Denver. So I can definitely tell you that it's pretty slippery for anyone that's walking as well. You might know it as by Union Station, which is our transportation hub. Many times people use our shuttle service or they'll use the light rail, and right now, all of it's going to be kind of covered with snow this morning. There's been a lot of plows around Denver that have been cleaning up the roads when you're in Denver or Aurora or any of the Denver metro surrounding areas. We can definitely tell you it's still pretty covered here in the downtown Denver area. They've been working pretty hard all day clearing up the snow. It started pretty heavy this morning, and then once we got to a little around 9:30, it actually stopped. There's still a lot of areas that are still showing just some slowdowns when it comes to snow, just due to how many crashes we've had this morning. We had a pretty big one where a bus actually ended up sliding off with 6 people on it. Luckily, no one was hurt, and they were able to transport them to another bus to make it easier for their commute this morning. So the biggest thing I would say, Lindsay, is that it's just still snow covered, but at least the snow has stopped.
Okay, Brian Sherrod, thank you so much. We are also tracking the atmospheric river expected to hit the West Coast today through Friday. So flood watches and flash flood advisories are in effect, including in areas devastated by the Los Angeles area wildfires. CBS News meteorologist Grant Gilmore is tracking this all for us. Hey, Grant.
So there is a lot going on across the country. We'll start with just the winter weather alerts, all right? From the mid-Atlantic, really from the Northeast into the Midwest, all the way to the West Coast. Over 100 million people under the threat of some type of winter weather. Now, that's just the winter weather. Today, also a threat for some severe weather across the deep south. We'll have to watch this, an enhanced risk for the threat for damaging winds and maybe even a few tornadoes as we head through the second part of our afternoon into the evening. So watching several things with a very powerful storm system moving across the eastern half of the United States. Watch here as we go through the rest of the day. You see the snow to the north, the heavy rain, the severe weather to the south. We will see travel disruptions from the system range all the way through the rest of the day today. Thursday, maybe even into Friday. But speaking of Friday, that's when this atmospheric river event, which really begins to pick up today, that starts to crank up through Friday as well. Multiple impacts from this storm system, 3 to nearly 10 inches of rain possible in some places. You're talking feet of snow, 2 to 4 feet of snow in the mountain passes there in elevations higher up into the Sierra Nevada. That's inland. Eventually that will move across the country as well, but we're really watching closely for that threat for some flooding, especially in Southern California, where some of that heavy rainfall could move over some of the burn scars in the LA fire area. So watching that closely, but still a very active pattern continuing through the rest of the week into the weekend. Back to you.